the Tottenham update, and where better to start than the legend Son Heung-min, as the club did announce today that Sonny will return to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the first time since leaving the club to bid farewell to the home fans at the Champions League game with Slavia Prague on Tuesday, the 9th of December, which is obviously next Tuesday. I thought it was going to come a bit later in the month. There were rumours that it was going to be the Liverpool game. But yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait for this. It's actually a great way to sell tickets, first and foremost. I think.
Considering the attendance for Copenhagen, they needed to do something.
Yeah, and I looked on the exchange. I looked on the website this morning for the ticket. I mean, there's just so many tickets available for this game. It's crazy. So that's one way. But no, I think it's going to be a great occasion to see Sonny back in the stadium. And they've also announced, Spurs, that work has now commenced on a street mural for Sonny on Tottenham High Road to be completed by the 9th of December, further celebrating the legacy that Sonny has left in this part of North London. So
Amazing.
Some great news all round.
That's really great. And he obviously deserves it. We all wanted something, some people saying build a statue, do this and that, but I think a mural was obviously a really great way to commemorate his time at Spurs. Obviously, we have a mural for Ledley King. We have a Kane one. Is that still there? Yeah.
Yeah, of course, it's still there.
We have a Kane one. So yeah, I think Sonny deserves his own mural for sure. And I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like. I wonder where on the high road it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to wait till the 9th of December to go down there and have a look. And obviously we will be there. And like I said, I cannot wait to get down there now and just see Sonny back in front of our eyes, back in the stadium. It's going to be an emotional day for him, for the fans, just to see him there in the mural. Excited to see. Do you think it's going to be his celebration? Is it going to be him lifting the trophy?
There'll be a few things, won't there? I think, hopefully, it definitely have to have the trophy there. That has to be there. The celebration has to be. All has to be there. Maybe him when he first signed as a young man. I think there are so many things you can capture from Sonny's time at Tottenham. I'm really excited to see what they come up with. Obviously, the sceptical side of me in terms of why they chose that specific game, because as you said, there was rumours of other games like Liverpool, but we know Liverpool's probably going to be a packed house regardless of whether Sonny's out or not. So did they choose that specific game on purpose because they know ticket sales are quite low and they know the Copenhagen attendance was about 13,000 under what it should for being a full house, and so they thought, okay, we get him in for this Champions League game and we should have a packed house now.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe it's just due to Sonny's schedule. Who knows? But it could be a number of different things. But one thing we do know, it is going to boost ticket sales.
That's for sure. We should have a packed house now.
I hope so.
And I wonder so he's going to have a chance to address the crowd. He's going to have a chance to make a speech and have a proper goodbye, which we haven't seen. It's going to be before the game, as you said, so not like a quick halftime thing. So hopefully they do it in good time, and I hope they do something special for him.
But also, I think that another reason why they chose this game is because they looked at the Copenhagen game and look how well we performed that day against a team that we really should be beating. Like, can you imagine he comes out at half-time with 2-0 down and it's just like a bit of a drab affair? Like,
it's before the game he's coming out.
I think they're doing before the game and at half-time. I think they're going to do both. That's what the original report said.
Okay, well, that's good as well.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, maybe one will just be a clap in front of the fans and maybe he'll do a speech at half-time. I don't know. But you can imagine, like, because what the atmosphere's been like at the stadium recently, like at half-time, no one's been like, there's been boos, it's been a negative atmosphere. But at Copenhagen, it was pretty good because we were performing well and we were, playing them off the pitch. So I'm sure they're looking at that as well.
Wouldn't be surprised. Want a positive atmosphere for when Sonny comes home. And maybe Sonny's presence can be the shot on the arm that this team and this fan base needs to get going at home.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get in that dressing room and grab a few people by the scruff of the neck and say, "Come on now, we're Tottenham Hotspur. Let's perform a bit better."
Exactly. Maybe he can give a team talk.
He should do.
Yeah, get him to give the team talk.
Yeah,
get him in the huddle before the game.
100%.
Yeah, get him on the pitch.
Like I said, get him on a one-game loan. Why not? Just get him on the pitch.
Sign a one-game contract. Well, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Sonny has spoken as well regarding the matter, and he said, when I announced my difficult decision to leave Spurs in the summer, it was in Korea and I never got the proper chance to say goodbye to the fans at the stadium. Now I'm so happy because I'm going to come back to London on the 9th of December for the Champions League match and be able to tell the Spurs fans in person just how much their support and love over the 10 years have meant to me and my family. It will be emotional, but it is important for me and the club that this happens.
We're going to see Sonny cry again.
Probably,
I
yeah.
don't know if I can take that. I don't know if I can take Son crying more. It broke my heart seeing him cry so much in the summer. But look, I think we all need to just feel something right now, not feeling anything. We're all so numb to what's going on at Tottenham. So maybe even if it's a bit emotional, I think we all need a bit of that right now.
Yeah, definitely. But, felt something last night with Coutinho Romero, last minute overhead kick to grab us back into the game. But that is the Sonny situation. He is going to be back on the 9th of December, which I cannot wait for. Next up, we're going to talk about Vicario again, because we heard a report last week or the beginning of the week, can't remember exactly when it was, that Inter Milan are there and ready in case Spurs do look to move on Vicario and look for a goalkeeper. Gazzetta dello Sport are kind of jumping on the back of that and saying they're saying that Vicario is considering a move away from Tottenham, with Inter Milan showing some interest in the 29-year-old. Do you reckon there's something to this, or just a bit of kind of lazy journalism because of the report last week and because of what Vicario's going through at this moment in time?
I highly doubt Vicario would be looking for a move himself. I'm pretty sure he's happy at Tottenham. He's part of the leadership group. I think within the club, and I think his teammates, I think they like him. He's a popular member of the dressing room. He's a very vocal member of the dressing room. But then again, maybe what's happened recently has made him rethink things. I highly doubt it's got into his mind that much where he's like, okay, maybe I'm better off somewhere else. Yeah, but I'll be surprised by that.
Yeah, but if you look at the team that are reportedly interested is Inter Milan. They're one of the best teams, if not the best team in Italy.
Yeah, that's fair.
He gets to fight for the Scudetto. He gets to fight for big things in Italy. And, they were Champions League finalists last year.
Yeah, fair. And could it improve his chances to be Italy number one when he's playing in Italy? You get more eyes on you for the Italian public, Italian media potentially. I'm guessing he'd be open to it. I wouldn't be surprised if we agree a deal. He'd be very open to it. Would he be pushing for a move and looking to move? I don't know. I think he's pretty committed to Tottenham. I think being part of that leadership says that to me. I think he's quite committed to what we do. And obviously he's only been here. What was his third year now? So I don't think he's going to be pushing for a move. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tottenham are open to it potentially, if Inter are serious about it and we're looking to upgrade. But I don't know what kind of keeper we look at if we do sell Vic. We'd have to draw up a list. I don't know if there's an obvious candidate from within the Premier League who would go for. Maybe you have to look for someone from other leagues outside the box. Yeah,
with the Porto keeper,
Diogo Costa.
Would he be an option?
I guess. Yeah.
Trying to think. I love the Bournemouth keeper, the Brighton keeper.
Verbruggen.
Yeah, I think he's a really good
keeper. I wouldn't
be
surprised because he's quite good with the ball at his feet.
Yeah, I think he's a top keeper.
I don't know about top keeper. I think he's good.
He's young as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quite young, to be fair, and he's improving. I don't know. I don't rate him that much as a shot stopper, to be fair. But maybe that's something he can improve.
Yeah. But look, we'll see how this progresses. But I genuinely think if Inter Milan were serious about bringing Vicario, I think he would be very interested in that. Italian as well. I think it'd be a really good move for him. Moving up, you can't really complain about that, can you?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the big story of the day regarding Yan Diomande. Sasha Tavaleri says that Spurs have held advanced talks with Yan Diamande's entourage. Spurs have been monitoring him for several months and have recently intensified talks. However, no club-to-club talks with RB Leipzig have started yet. Florian Plettenberg does say that RB Leipzig will demand a fee of 100 million euros to sign Yan Diomande this summer, as he has no release clause in his contract. Look, 19 years of age. He broke in to, I think, the Leganes squad last season, at the back end of the season, played about 10 games for them. He actually made his debut against Real Madrid. Off the back of that, got a 20 million move to RB Leipzig this season, doing fairly well. I think all his goal contributions are coming like in a stretch of like 3 games or something. But look, he's 19, can play right wing, can play left wing. I think his favourite position is left wing, but all his goal contributions have come off the right this season. To be honest, I don't know too much about him. He's a young player with not that many games behind him, and I'm thinking like 100 million.
He's played 22 games in his career.
Like 100 million for that,
crazy.
like it's crazy. Like,
I doubt. I mean, surely they're not gonna. That's not their actual demand. You know what I mean? That they say, oh, that's probably just the price to wall people off. But if teams are serious about him, surely they would accept a lower fee than that. Yeah, I mean, but you're talking about. I mean, all the Twitter tacticos on football Twitter tell me this guy's the next big thing. This guy is a wonder kid. He's incredible one-on-one dribbling. He's really breaking out this season.
How many times have we heard that, though?
Yeah, you can. Every year is a new wonder kid. Not even every year. Every 10 games, there's a new wonder kid. I'm not saying this guy might be special. This guy might be the next big thing. We've obviously invested heavily in that position right now. We're in young players with Tel and Odebear there. This guy's a bit younger than those two and less experienced. So whether he's the answer at left wing for us come January or whatever, I don't know. It's hard to believe he would be. But maybe this guy is something special. Maybe we're getting ahead of the curve here by getting him in early. I don't really know.
That's always the plan with all the young players that we sign, isn't it? But the reality is...
But then again, like, if you're spending that amount of money, you're not exactly getting a cheap deal.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean?
I can't see Spurs splashing out 100 million euros, which is what, 85 million pounds, on a 19-year-old with not that much kind of game behind him. We signed Archie Gray for 40 million, who had a whole season in the Championship, albeit, Jan Diamande's played at a much higher level than that in La Liga and the Bundesliga, but 40 million was seen as like crazy money for a player of that age. And I think, 100 million euros is nuts. It really is nuts. Like, if we're going to sign him, then it's got to be of the ballpark of like literally top 45 million or something like that. Like that's what makes sense to me.
Yeah, unless we really believe this guy is something special, and if we don't get him now, he's going to be worth, he will be worth 100 million, like in a year's time or so, and we're going to be missing out. And maybe if it's 50 million now for a player that could easily be 100 million very soon, maybe it's something worth doing. I don't know him that well, so I can't really say whether I believe that's going to be the case, but. They're the recruitment and scouting department. Obviously, Liverpool reportedly in for him as well. So apparently, there is a lot of people very excited about this kid. A lot of people saying that he could potentially be something special. But at the end of the day, he has only played 22 games in his career. So I don't really understand how you can make sweeping judgments on a player like that with so little evidence. It's so few games. How can you say this guy is? How can you be so certain? He's that special. Maybe you can. I don't know. Yeah.
Look, he has broken into the Ivory Coast team as well, playing 4 games, getting 2 goals off the back of it as well. So he seems to be performing on the international stage as well. Look, the reality is he's had a very good start to his career. Starting La Liga matches and Bundesliga matches, but that price just, like I said before, just seems absolutely wild to me. But anyway, that's Jan Diomande. Let's move on and talk about Antoine Semenyo. As Sky Sports Lyle, we kind of touched on this in the watch-along yesterday, that Spurs are intensifying their interest in Bournemouth forward Antoine Semenyo ahead of the January transfer window. They want to sign him, but have competition from Liverpool, Man City, potentially other clubs as well. We know he's got that release clause that starts in January for 65 million. If he stays, that goes down in the summer, I believe, to about 60 million or 55 million. Look, we know how much he's improved since joining Bournemouth. He had a good season last year. He's improved on that this year, and that is why he's getting interest from all these clubs like Liverpool, Man City, Tottenham. I would like to sign him. I said yesterday, what's the point of signing these players until we fix the tactics that we're doing on the pitch? But regardless what managers here, you want top caliber players here, and I think Semenyo is that.
Yeah, and I think he adds goals to the front line, which I think that's something we're definitely lacking when you're looking at replacing the goals that we've lost over the last couple of years. I think Semenyo goes some way to adding, at least a double figure kind of winger, which, when you look at our wide options, I know Brennan gets goals, but he's not getting the time on the pitch at the moment. Kudus is our best winger. He's not much of a goal scorer, so we need to add kind of goals from the wide areas, I feel, and Semenyo goes definitely a way to solving that. I also think, obviously, the way Frank wants to play, I do think Semenyo could really suit that because he's very much a very good transitional player, and I think if we're going to get Frank to optimise his way of playing and get it to its peak, we probably need players like Semenyo who could cover large distances with pace, and obviously when he gets near the penalty area can get goals and can get finishes, a bit like in Buemo. So I think for me it's a great signing. Question is can we get him if other teams are in for him? Obviously January there's that 65 million release clause. He's also openly quite an open Arsenal fan. So that's obviously, we've already just been through that with Eze, and obviously Arsenal gazumped us for him. So there's always going to be that fear that if Arsenal ever come calling, even if we agree a deal, will he just choose Arsenal? But then again, that they have to be interested first. I do feel like if we're the only option in January and no one's really serious about putting the 65 million up, and we are, then I think he probably would come, even in January, because I think for a player like Semenyo, he's in good form. But at the end of the day, sometimes in your career, you do have to strike while the iron's hot. And, he's playing very well now and he's in good form. But a bad second half of the season, all of a sudden the offers will dry up. So sometimes you do have to take it. Obviously, he could back himself to carry on this form and maybe go for a bigger move in the summer. But I do think he'd be open to a move if we activate the release clause and there's not many other offers on the table. But is that a realistic scenario? Will Liverpool or Man City stump up that cash in January? I think especially Liverpool, who are definitely looking for a winger right now. And I think his style could definitely suit how they play as well. So I can imagine Liverpool being serious about him, maybe City as well. So whether despite us intensifying, is it realistic?
Yeah, that's the thing.
To be seen.
Yeah, that's the thing. Look, it all depends on who actually comes in for him. I think he's going to end up at Liverpool, to be honest. Unless Arsenal do come in, because you look at Arsenal's left wing options, they've got Trossard there, they've got Martinelli there, both of them going into the last year of their contract. Are they going to look to upgrade that position? I think Semenyo is definitely, probably a key candidate if they are looking to do that. So it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal come in as well for him. So if that's the case, then we may as well just move on right now. So, but if you talk about Antoine Semenyo against Yan Diomande and who you want to sign, I mean, 65, if let's say we can get both players, just for argument's sake, 65 million for Semenyo or 100 million or 85 million, whatever it is for Yan Diomande, I think it's an absolute no-brainer, isn't it? Like, you go for the player that's already 25, Premier League experience, scored bundles of goals already now in the Premier League. It looks an absolute no-brainer, isn't it?
For me, for sure. And we already have two potential up-and-coming wingers or players who can play on the left anyway. If we're looking for that kind of potential option as well, with Odegaard and Tell, we have players there who could also start to flourish. So for me, Semenyo makes a lot more sense. Rather than you sign Diomande, then all of a sudden you're just choosing between three players who are all kind of building to their potential rather than playing at their peak right now. So that doesn't make as much sense to me.
Yeah. All right, that's Semenyo. Let's move on and talk about that Conor Gallagher once again. We did speak about him a couple of days ago on a Tottenham update, saying that Atletico, he's only started 3 games for Atletico this season and he could be looking for a route out this January. Fabrizio Romano says that Manchester United, Newcastle, Everton and Spurs are all in the race to sign Atletico Madrid midfielder Conor Gallagher this January. Atletico blocked a loan move from United last summer but are now open to a €30 million permanent deal. Gallagher is keen on the move to boost his England chances ahead of the World Cup. He wasn't a top priority in the last window, but Ruben Amorim's United are expected to lead the charge in January. I think this is a really good market opportunity in January for what we need in that midfield. A bit of bite, knows how to pass. Back when he was at Chelsea in his last season, he was playing number 10 for them, but I think his preferred position is to play a bit further back. I like Conor Gallagher, and I think it's something that Spurs should seriously look at this January.
I think he's like an upgrade on like Sarr, I don't know if he's the midfielder we really need. I think he's an upgrade on what we have, but I don't think he's what's missing, if you know what I mean. I don't think he's the guy who controls games, who has that little bit of patience on the ball, who has the passing range that we're looking for. But he is an upgrade on what we have in terms of a number 8. I think he comes in and improves us. I do think right now, like if you're looking at United, they are desperate for someone like him. I think he's like the perfect player for Man United right now in that number 8 position in the double pivot. So I think there's a natural kind of fit there, but I would take him as an upgrade on the number 8 position. But I still think we need another player alongside him.
Yeah,
so that's the problem.
You need like a deep lying dictator, don't you? That's what we really need at Spurs. But I think Conor Gallagher would be a really good fit as well. You know, if you have that kind of midfield, if you get a 6 in there with Conor Gallagher plus like a Javi or a Bergvall, you know, in there, like Gallagher fighting with Bergvall for that spot, I think would be such unbelievable competition for places, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and you've got Sarr there as well. I think that's the kind of player he is. That's who he'd be battling with. He's definitely not 6. So I don't think we desperately need an upgrade like on Bentancur, I feel at the moment. So look, I think I'd go for it if it's available, for sure.
Yeah, 30 million euros for someone of that quality is, you know, that's a really good market opportunity, isn't it? And you know how Spurs love their market opportunities.
Absolutely.
And last but
Levy, we're trying to get the price down.
Yeah, probably. And last but not least, not the most reliable source, Team Talk, saying that Tottenham are interested in both Manchester United midfield targets Carlos Baleba and Adam Wharton. Both Brighton and Crystal Palace are expected to demand fees north of £100 million, making any deal extremely difficult for Spurs. Again, like I think Adam Wharton would be absolutely perfect for Spurs.
Yeah, he's the one, because I just think his ability, his passing ability is brilliant. He's a real pace setter, tone setter. So I think he has that bit of bite that you need as a player in that position. So I think he would be mine, potentially number 1 in that position. Obviously, Baleba, we know, has been brilliant for Brighton, but this season he's let the speculation, I think, distract him. Hasn't quite been as good this season. But yeah, if Wharton's possible, I think I'd snatch you with both hands. It's a bit frustrating because we did have the chance to sign him before Palace did. We didn't take it up. We were heavily linked with him. But obviously Palace got there ahead of him. Now there's talk of 100 million when we could add him for 20 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. Sometimes you make big mistakes, but doesn't mean it's not worth bringing him in now if we can get him.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like he's on for bigger things, but we'll see.
The thing is with Crystal Palace and Adam Wharton, I think with Ollie Glasner coming out like he has done against the board, and they have sold Elise and Eze in recent years and months, I just feel like they're going to do their best to hold on to him to at least till the end of the season, and they're going to drive such a hard bargain to sell him as well. Like I think he's got such a long contract there. I just can't see a world where we're able to sign Adam Wharton, to be honest, unfortunately.
Definitely not in January, even in the summer though. But to be fair, I don't know if Glasner's going to be there in the summer. His
contract runs out at the end of the season.
So I highly doubt that even if they hold on to Wharton, I don't know if he's going to sign one unless the club are really going to back him and show ambition and start to improve on what they have. I think it's difficult for him. So I can see him leaving and getting frustrated in the summer. And I think if you're Palace and you get a bid over 100 million, I think you back yourself to reinvest that. And I think that's what they got to do, to be honest, because that's kind of the model of what Brighton, Bournemouth. Get the money, reinvest it, back your recruitment, and then slowly just keep upgrading and reinforce your squad. And I think, unfortunately, Palace, if they're talking about selling Gueye for how much they were, and they've sold Eze and Elise, and they don't even have that money to reinvest it, they could probably do with 100 million and to really get a bit of depth in that squad. Yeah,
it's true. But I mean, he is still so young, and he's got I think he's got such a long contract there. And with Eze gone this season, Guehi could very much go in January, with him going into the last 6 months of his deal, and Liverpool obviously extremely interested in him. Elise went the year before. I just feel like they might dig in their heels a little bit with Adam Wharton and try to keep him for an extra year even.
I do. I agree. That's why they've got over 100 million price tag. But if someone meets that, I think it'd be hard to turn that down.
It's true. Do you see anyone meeting that, though?
Don't know.
Maybe. I don't think so.
The only reason I'm sceptical whether they would right now is because of his injury record.
Yeah. Anyway, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we have spoken about today.